Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, Trump's White House releases guidance for AI use and acquisition in government. And senators re-up a bill to expand the Secret Service's financial cybercrime authorities. It's Monday, April 7th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's get into the day's top headlines. The White House Office of Management and Budget released a pair of memos to provide agencies with guardrails for how they use and purchase artificial intelligence in government, replacing guidance from the Biden administration but maintaining some of the same structures. Both memos, which were dated April 3rd, represent some of the first major policy actions President Donald Trump has taken on the government's use of AI. Trump began his administration by rolling back former President Joe Biden's AI executive order and later issuing one of his own that called for an AI action plan and a review of the previous administration's work on the technology. Specifically, the order included directions to revise the Biden OMB's AI governance and acquisition guidance. The first new memo of the two released last week provides guardrails for use and replaces Biden's directive on the same topic. That document states that agencies are to focus on three priorities when accelerating the federal use of AI: innovation, governance, and public trust, which align with an executive order on the technology from the first Trump administration. But that directive also maintains things that were established under the Biden administration, like chief AI officers and their counsel, and a special management process for potentially risky AI uses it now calls high impact. Similarly, the second memo on AI acquisition replaces the Biden OMB's guidance on government purchasing of the tech. That memo maintains its predecessor's emphasis on the benefits of a competitive AI marketplace, tracking AI performance and managing risks, and cross-functional collaboration, but adds new language aimed at maximizing use of AI that's made in the United States. In other news, a bipartisan pair of senators is taking another shot at their bill to expand the U.S. Secret Service's investigative powers for financial cybercrime probes. The Combatting Money Laundering and Cybercrime Act from Senators Cortez Masto, a Democrat of Nevada, and Chuck Grassley, a Republican from Iowa, would update federal law to strengthen the Secret Service's authority, enabling the agency to look into criminal activity tied to digital assets. Cortez Masto said in a statement that, quote, dangerous criminals are constantly changing their tactics and using new technology to avoid detection. Under current law, the Secret Service is empowered to investigate cybercrimes that threaten national security, but those that are conducted via unlicensed money-transmitting businesses fall outside the agency's purview. The legislation from Cortez Masto and Grassley, both members of the Senate Finance Committee, addresses that gap by allowing Secret Service members to probe digital asset transactions tied to transnational cybercriminal activity. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. The Daily Scoop podcast is available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with brand new episodes. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.